Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and there is major, massive news coming from Trump world on the vice presidential pick. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. The political world in the United States is waiting to see who former President Donald Trump picks as his vice presidential campaign partner in 2024. However, one answer we don't have to wait for any longer, and that's who's out. After another disastrous interview, it looks like South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is absolutely finished. And I want you to watch this interview because the interviewer from Newsmax tells her point blank, I had you at the top of my VP list, one of the contenders. You're not even on the list anymore. Trump is said to be furious with what Kristi Noem did. And now it looks like she even lied in the book. And listen, up until now, I've been a Kristi Noem fan. I'm still a fan of her policies. I don't know what her intention was to do this unless this book was some kind of audition for vice president and she severely miscalculated. I want you to watch this interview with her and then really let me know what you think when you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm Carmine Sabia for Explain America. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.
Impact to make a difference.
I agree with you there. But going back to what you said a moment ago, maybe not lying to the American people. And I think this is important to talk about because the book's called No Going Back, the truth on what's wrong with politics. And I think part of the problem with politics today is that politicians aren't honest with the American people. So if you asked me a month ago, who's at the top of the list to run with Donald Trump, I would have said your name. If you asked me that same question this morning, I don't even think you're on the list.
Really?
So my question for you,
yes,
really, and it's because of things that have come out in this book, like your claims that you met Kim Jong-un, and then over the last week,
I've been to the DMZ, I've been to the area. What I've said is that
did you stare down Kim Jong-un?
Let
me, Governor, 1 second. I will give you an opportunity to respond. I just want to get this out there. So here's the quote from the book. You say that, I remember when I met North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, I'm sure he underestimated me, having no clue about my experience staring down little tyrants. Governor, that never happened, did it?
What I have said in the book is that when I became aware of the content, that we had it changed. And that's the way that it is. So I should not have put that anecdote in the book. I'm not going to talk about my meetings.
But an anecdote indicates that it happened, right?
I'm not going to talk about my conversations with world leaders. I've been involved in policy for 30 years. For 30 years, I've been traveling the world, talking to world leaders, and that is a conversation that I'm not going to have in this book. So I've answered that in interviews already. I've been very forthright, and I think that a typical politician wouldn't be that honest. As soon as it became to my attention, I asked for the content to be changed, and it has been.
Governor, I'm not asking you about the details of this alleged meeting. I'm asking if the meeting actually happened. I don't think it did. And I think if it did, you'd be able to confirm for me that, yes, it did, and here's when it happened. It happened, say, at such and such a date or a month, or you don't have to be specific.
I'm not going to talk about my conversations with
You're going to
world
continue
leaders.
to have to answer this question then.
I don't think so, because the average American citizen is more worried about the border. They're more worried about what we see in a White House and a president that since January has gone out there and misled the American people over 150 times, and nobody pushes him on what he says, that he was imprisoned with Nelson Mandela, that he drove an 18-wheeler, that his uncle was eaten by cannibals, that he started the civil rights movement. There is a hypocrisy in the media today, and I would like to see that the American people know and recognize the difference, that they want leaders who actually will go forward and give them a way that they can elect people who want to represent them and fight for them.
Governor, that's a very good point, and I'm not deliberately trying to be adversarial. Donald Trump winning in November is very important.
Yes, it is.
And I think that whoever he chooses to be his running mate, and again, I think at one point you were at the top of that list, but you're going to get questions a lot more difficult than that.
The thing that's very interesting to me is the only person who will decide is Donald Trump. He will decide, and he knows that I think he should pick the person that will help him win. That is my one parameter. When he was in the White House, I was on offense every day. I got to solve problems for the people of South Dakota. I got to, think out of the box and be innovative. Now with Joe Biden in the White House, all I am is on defense. So I will tell you that the one thing that President Trump knows for a fact is that I want him to win, and that I want him to pick the person that will help him win, because America needs him in the White House.
You seem surprised when Rob said that he didn't see you on the short list anymore. Are you still on that short list? Have you talked to him about being his vice president?
I talked to President Trump a lot. I talk to him a lot, and I think the world of him, and he knows that. And I've always supported him, even when he, back in 2016, when very few Republicans or anybody supported him, I was on his side, recognizing that he doesn't think he's better than anybody else. He's had rough days and had difficult days, but he also did incredible things and made big decisions for this country. And that's what people want, is elected leaders that have hard days but know the challenges that this country faces and are willing to make those tough decisions to make it happen.
I know you were